Wake Up Alabama is brought to you in part by Milo's.
Welcome back to Wake Up Alabama. It's now 6:22, and this morning we're joined by Dr. Candace Wheeler of General Motors and Mark Warner, President and CEO of Gulf Coast Energy. Guys, thanks for being with us this morning. All right, let's talk about what's going on. There's a summit that's taking place in the next 3 days about biofuel and why that's important. Tell us why biofuels are so important to our country.
Biofuels are important because we are dependent upon petroleum for our, transportation needs, and so by having biofuels, we actually have fuels that can be cost competitive, that can be low in greenhouse gas emissions, and can be made renewable here domestically. So they're very important for the future. Important for the economy, but more importantly for our natural resources and environment. All right, going on right now, an opening of the I-65 biofuels corridor. Explain what that is.
It's a stretch of interstate highway all the way from Michigan down to the Gulf Coast that allows drivers and vacationers to stop and pick up biorenewable fuels as opposed to petroleum-based fuels.
Now, how exactly will that work?
Same as any gas station.
Just any gas station. It's not some sort of tricky thing where you have to
just pull up to the pump.
And it's very close fuel pumps actually for drivers to fill up.
That's
maybe
right.
even closer than.
Currently in the United States there's about 170 fuel stations, but not many of those actually have pumps that supply E85 or fuel that's 85% ethanol, 15% petroleum. And so we're trying to grow that. Right now there's about 1,800 stations, and what this project did was actually go from all the way Gary, Indiana down to Moline and make sure that along the entire corridor there were fueling stations along the way that motorists can pick up fuel anywhere, so that they never have to be more than a quarter of a tank away from a gas station. So they can go the whole corridor using E85.
And stretches down through I-65, of course, through Alabama, and that's huge for us here in our state. Now, tell us, of course, you work for General Motors. Tell us how GM is really sort of getting in the trend and being competitive with other car companies.
Well, for General Motors, biofuels is very important. We actually feel that biofuels is probably the most significant near-term solution in reducing our dependence on petroleum as well as reducing greenhouse gases. And we're really looking at that in 3 ways. We're actually producing vehicles. We have almost 3.5 million flex fuel vehicles on the road today. We're committed to having 50% of our portfolio E85 or flex fuel capable by 2012. So we're making a significant effort on the fuel side, in the vehicle side, but we're also working on the infrastructure side with examples like this corridor, team that was put together to try to get stations available so that the fuel is available to our customers. And we're also partnering on technology such as what Gulf has to develop cellulosic ethanol, that next generation of ethanol that can be made from corn stalks or wood chips or other materials like that.
Right.
So. What a lot of people don't know is right here in Alabama there's companies like ours, Gulf Coast Energy, that are making biosynthetic gasoline and biosynthetic diesel as well. So while ethanol is a big part of the fix and the flex fuel vehicles, very shortly we'll be able to roll out products that can go into older cars as well.
That's great.
All made from biomass.
Now, why specifically do you think this is important to the state of Alabama?
I think Alabama, being in the middle of this huge pine forest, is in a unique position to really promote biorenewable fuels. And Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida, being in that southeastern region, can become a center of United States energy production in liquid fuels and hydrogen and jet fuel. We can make all of those things, and we can make it right now today.
That's exciting. All right, guys, thanks so much for being with us today, and we're very excited about what's going on with GM and for the I-65 biofuel corridor. All right, thanks for being with us today. All right, turning to medical news.